Well, welcome again to the hairlosssolutions.tv, and we are excited with the interview that we have today. Flora is someone who you are going to find some incredible, revolutionary, breaking news about hair replacement in 3D technology. So let me not waste any time. I want to introduce Flora Fuentes. Did I pronounce that right this time?
Yes, it's Flora Fuentes.
It's a beautiful name. Is it Mexican? Is it Spanish?
It's Spanish.
Spanish, beautiful, yeah. Beautiful. Because I know you got a beautiful Spanish husband, so we enjoy his company.
Thank you.
Flora, you have a wonderful background. You're right now in New York City, basically, where your practice is at?
Okay, so I am originally from New York City. I still live in New York City, and I started in New York City for over 20 years, and then I opened up in Westchester County about 3 years ago. And Westchester County is actually 20 minutes north of New York City. So I didn't venture out too far.
It's where people in New York City get out to so they can relax and get out of the tension of the city.
Yes, Westchester County, what's wonderful about our area is that we have many of the residents actually travel to Midtown from Westchester County, and they're there in about 20 minutes to go to work, and then they get back and they're actually in a suburb. So they can get away from the noise but still be close to heading to the theater and everything that New York City has to offer.
You know, you're in the hub of the world, obviously, and you have brought to your practice, and now all over the United States, something very revolutionary for people who are going through thinning hair or hair loss.
Yes.
Would you tell us a little bit about 3D printing technology? Because our audience, I know we've heard some comments and excitement already just in the promo of this. Let them know, what is 3D printing technology for hair replacement?
Okay, so it's basically utilizing the best of both worlds, modern advanced technology with the artisan work of a natural hair replacement system. And it's brought to you by Cesare Ragazzi Laboratories that is based in Bologna, Italy. And I am fortunate enough to be part of their team, serving as an educator or otherwise known as a U.S. director here in the United States or North America, because I travel to Canada as well to educate other centers. So what stands apart, or what makes this hair replacement system different from other hair replacement systems, is the technology behind it. Cesare Ragazzi has a huge R&D department, research and development department, and they came up with this hair replacement system that is made out of biomedical materials. It is the only non-surgical hair replacement system that is FDA compliant, which is fabulous. It has given me, as a professional in the hair loss field, the ability to help many men and women that may have suffered trauma to the scalp, that are burn survivors. So others that I was not able to help in the past with other technologies. And so that's what makes this so unique from other hair replacement centers. Excuse me, from other hair replacement technologies.
So to the audience, the bio membrane that they're using, it actually breathes with the skin like a second scalp. In fact, isn't that what CNC in the Italian translation kind of translates to?
Yes, yes. It actually is an acronym for Capelli Naturali Contatto, which means natural contact hair. And so the biomedical material is meant to basically work with the wearer's body temperature. It's like a second skin. And that's really where the 3D technology is brought into. After we meet with a client, or if it's at a doctor's office, a patient, we take what are called parameters, which are specialized measurements of the area of hair loss. We start with a scalp mapping and a plaster of Paris mold. And that's to get an actual impression of the person's head, because no two heads are alike. It's like fingerprints. And so when we gather this impression, along with all the specifications of the wearer, hair color, texture, density, skin tone, because it is an actual prosthetic, all of those specifications go to the laboratory in Bologna, Italy, where the 3D printing technology is utilized to read the actual molds or impressions and replicate a second scalp. And that's where the biomedical technology afterwards comes into effect.
So instead of a factory, let's say in China or Indonesia or the Philippines, where the majority in the world of hair pieces are made, this is made in a laboratory in Bologna, Italy, which really takes it to another level. And give the audience a little bit, there's kind of an announcement you guys made just recently at all the owners' meetings of the licensed people throughout the United States that have been certified and licensed to carry this product and serve it for their clients. You became prosthetic identified, not just hair piece or quality, goods. You really have a prosthetic. Am I correct?
Correct. It's an actual hair and scalp prosthesis. So it's the CNC, we call it the CNC 3D hair and scalp prosthetic for that reason. It has actually been recognized as a medical device in Europe. And we are hoping with, some good timing that it will do so the same here in North America. That's
good. And I know you got Claudia working around the United States, at least trying to get that announcement out there, how important it is for an alopecia patient to be able to have a full head of hair, to be able to wear it. Now let's talk about wearing it 24/7 and no compromise. Give the audience a little bit of background on how that takes place.
Yes, thank you. And what's wonderful about the CNC 3D prosthetic is that you are able to wear it 24/7. You may shower, shampoo, blow dry, and take care of this as if it was your own growing head of hair. We know that it isn't, but we really want to emulate and simulate what your own hair would be like. And so there isn't any compromise in the respect that you can just go about your regular activity, or for many of my clients, they've actually become more active after. So you mentioned Claudia Cascia out of Italy. She is the founder of Alopecia and Friends. It's a very large community of men and women with alopecia areata, totalis, and universalis. And she really has been out there promoting this because it has changed her. It has helped her life. She has such a unique story as far as how quickly she lost her hair. And so she has put it through the test. She has been out there in the wind, in the rain, she swims, she does everything with her CNC, but she's also one to promote confidence with or without hair. So we absolutely love her.
She's a very special woman. Actually, we did an interview with her while I was in Italy at the factory, and she's so precious. I mean, she is doing the passion of sharing the support of alopecia children, men, women, and giving them the balance. And I really like that, Flora. I'm sure you've seen it a lot. They're coming to a comfort level with themselves to be able to, not that they like the situation or really even like without hair, but they feel comfortable enough and confident enough, because when they do put their hair on, they look absolutely breathtaking, and it's undetectable at that point without fanfare and all the commercial stuff. It really is a second head of hair. I got to share a story, and I think you already knew this story, but I want the audience to hear this. When the owners were at the medical community showing this prosthetic, the medical community wanted to know, why would a wig company be here? We're teaching on medicine and transplants and all that. And they took the scope, a 200 magnified scope, and put it to the scalp. And they were all stunned to where their jaws dropped, because it replicated the same surgical procedure as a transplant or natural growing hair, which is pretty incredible.
Yes, I absolutely. Actually, Cesare Ragazzi Laboratories was the only non-medical company that was actually asked to attend the ISHRS conference, which is the International Society for Hair Restoration Surgeons, and to be able to present this technology as another option for patients that have had hair transplants, or for patients that are not good candidates for a transplant, whether it be not enough donor hair or a medical history that wouldn't allow them to have surgery. This is a wonderful option for a doctor to bring into his or her practice as an alternative to a hair transplant, or to be utilized in conjunction with a hair transplant procedure. And so, yes, we demonstrated with a 200-time magnified ProScope camera, which is basically a high-definition magnified camera that we compared on the patient their own growing hair, took a photograph, and then took a photograph of the CNC prosthetic. And it looked just like their own scalp. The only difference was that we didn't see the little tiny blood vessels, obviously, because it's a prosthetic. And they were absolutely amazed. And we are working with a number of physicians here in the U.S., also through South America, North America, in Europe. And it's the information and the technology is just starting to spread, where we are getting a lot more inquiries about this.
It's interesting because a lot of the dermatologists and the surgeons to do transplant have become excited enough to actually open centers right into their medical practice of serving these particular prosthetic hair pieces and et cetera, along with trichology. Who is the CNC best for? I mean, you know, women have always been forgotten, I feel, in so many ways, except for a wig. You know, if somebody's just thinning on top, you can see more of the scalp at any age, 20, 30. Is that a good candidate? Is it a good candidate for a man that has lost their hair? Give us the kind of the category of who's best suited for this type of product.
The person that is best suited for this type of prosthesis is a man or a woman with thinning hair or hair loss. Age is really not a determinant factor because we actually work with young children, teenagers, with all various types of hair loss or alopecia. And like I mentioned before, those that have also suffered from a traumatic surgical procedure, let's say to the scalp, be it through an accident or a burn survivor, let's say. So it is not a prosthetic that has to be designed for someone with total hair loss, although we can work with patients or clients with alopecia totalis and universalis. It is for a woman who's maybe perhaps just starting to thin. The traditional type of hair loss that we see in women, which is considered androgenetic alopecia. For example, a woman who may feel that her part is starting to widen a little bit on the top of the head. She is a good candidate for a CNC 3D prosthetic because the prosthesis can be customized for that specific area only. For a man with male pattern hair loss, whether it's a receded hairline, the center or the crown area where there's loss of hair, we can design this to only fill in that area of hair loss alone. So it's what we call a partial hair replacement or a full hair replacement, either one. And age, I would have to tell you from my own experience, what I see at my center, I see men, very young men from age 23 to 35 that come in that are actually looking for this technology. And one of the reasons being is because with other hair replacements, we actually have to shave hair in order to add hair. And that can scare many. For some, they may be perfectly fine with it, and that's okay. But this, again, provides another option at my center for those that may be hesitant to shave, because with the CNC prosthesis, it is secured with a medical adhesive or cohesive that is dermatologist tested and is applied to hair and scalp. And all of the materials that are used are hypoallergenic. However, we still conduct a skin test on everyone that decides to order a CNC 3D prosthetic.
Now, I know you've made some transformations in people's lives. And I'd like you to share with the audience because, I mean, you've done men, you've done women, and you've done some wonderful work. And many of the owners of people across the country that have come together, very few, I mean, they're all licensed in the United States, but this is still a very innovative thing, even though it's 40 years old overseas and now all over the world. It really is new to the United States, but 3 years. But you've changed some lives. You had some real life-change experience. What's the one that really stands out for you of a woman who's gone through the transformation of a CNC?
I have several, but I think that one that really sticks out is a young lady. I could say her name because she allows me to. Her name is Miranda. She's 15 years old. I think she just about turned 16. And she has what's called trichotillomania, which is not a traditional hair loss, but it is what is called a BFRB, which is a body-focused repetitive behavior in which the person actually pulls their own hair. And so with her trichotillomania, it became so noticeable that she actually wasn't able to go to school. So she was homebound. And her school had a no hat policy. So she couldn't go to school with a scarf on her head or a hat. And so she was homebound. She came to me through a referral. They actually drove from Kentucky to New York to see me. And they were referred to me through a therapist that specializes in helping young women with trichotillomania. And she had seen some of our work. And as soon as she had this done, I mean, it's like she lit up the room and she felt so much better. Her mother just sent me photographs of Miranda attending her junior prom. So she was able to go back to school. She was able to go to her prom. It just made such a difference for her. And she even agreed to take photographs. She wanted to model for me. She says, I'll be happy to model to show other young women and women that this is something that's available. So I think it definitely made such a difference in her life, and she's so happy.
You know what's really wonderful about that story? I interviewed one of the top doctors in trichotillomania psychologist, and she was relating the fact that the blocking of the compulsive disorder can, as we have experienced in a number of our clients that have worn the CNCs, have actually blocked them and broken the compulsive disorder. And we know that the hair grows underneath, so their hair can grow back, and they can come back to not even needing, or needing only a small area where they may have damaged and traumatized the hair. So that is beautiful. Well, I want to excite the Cleveland audience, because we've invited you, and you have accepted to come into Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes, I'm so excited.
I am too. We've got a tremendous amount of response from the people coming in. They're going to learn about the CNC and the 3D technology. You're going to see real clients that they can talk to and converse with. Maybe a trichotillomania patient as well. We're going to talk about the trichology. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to share with us when you get to Cleveland on August 6th.
On August 6th, I will be there. I'm actually going to be talking about what CNC is, the technology behind it, the science, and then the most important part, the fun part of it, what makes you feel great after, because at the end of the day, we just want to have fun with our hair. So I'm going to be talking about the technology, the company, the science, present some case studies of where we were able to help some men and women with the CNC 3D prosthesis. And like you mentioned, we're going to have a few clients that are actually willing to share their stories, which I am always so thankful for, because we know this is so private for many. And when we have men and women that are willing to talk and share with others, it's a great opportunity to come out and talk to others and that are also in the same boat as you are. Because sometimes when a man or a woman has hair loss, they feel like they're alone. And so events like this, which I'm so thankful to you, Jeffrey, for inviting me, are so beneficial. Because maybe if you were hesitant to go in on a one-on-one, maybe you'll feel a lot more comfortable just attending an educational seminar about solutions for hair loss.
That's beautiful.
PNC.
We're excited to have you there. And again, it's August 6th for the listening audience, 1 to 3. It's free, completely complimentary. Oh, by the way, there'll be wine and hors d'oeuvres from Italy. So we're going to just make you feel like you're in Italy. Yeah, it'll be fun. And for my listening audience, I know you appreciate Flora. She has come in a busy schedule in New York for home private practice. She's always on Facebook, traveling all over the country, helping other people to open their businesses. And we've gotten the opportunity to capture her knowledge and capture her to be with us with her passion. On August 6th, you have the link right down below. You can register just by clicking on to that and be with us and really learn, and also be around people so you don't feel like you're alone. That's so important. You're not alone, and there is solutions. Real people, real problems, real solutions. Be with us August 6th, and we'll look forward to being with you, and you'll be sharing with Flora live and in person. Flora, again, thank you for being with us.
I look forward to meeting all of you, and thank you, Jeffrey, for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.